I'm 54 years old. I'm 6'1" when I'm fully assembled and weigh about 235 pounds. Today I am going to discuss gloves, wearing gloves while riding the wheelchair. Now, anytime I go outside, every time I go outside I wear gloves. There are a couple of reasons for that. One of the reasons is after I've been riding in a wheelchair for a while, I built up a tremendous nasty callus right here across my hands, even to the effect that when I go to see my doctors and stuff, they were concerned about this big callus. So now I don't wear gloves when I'm inside the house or at somebody else's house or something like that. But anytime I go outside, when I'm actually going to be working and moving my wheelchair, I wear gloves. That is just one of the reasons why I started doing that all the time when I'm outside. And that over time that callus has gotten a lot softer, and there's no more concern about that. But there are some really good bonuses for wearing gloves, especially when you're outside. It's a lot easier to get some traction on the push rims when you're going. And as you're rolling, because you get better traction, it's easier to stop. And if you've gone downhill at any rate of speed, you'll realize when you grab a hold of that rim, it'll get hot really quick. And so the gloves help eliminate that problem. Now, one of the other things that they're really good for, specifically with the wheelchair that I got, when I was getting this thing decked out, I got these push rims. They actually have kind of a plasticky, a little bit rubbery like, but plasticky coating on it, which seemed real good for holding on to, and I wouldn't need to wear gloves all the time. But what's happened over the course of time, as it's rubbed up against curbs and it's rubbed up against sides of ramps, this plastic has got tore up. Now, it'd be very difficult to see, except that I do have one spot down here that's cut all the way through to the metal, as you can see. But this is pretty tore up all the way around. Now, at this point, if I was outside putting a lot of weight, getting any speed, especially trying to stop, having those rough, basically plasticky, splintery type things against my hands would be pretty doggone painful. So, I think gloves are a super good idea. What I look for gloves is I wanted to get leather gloves, and as far as I can tell, anybody who uses gloves, they're looking for leather gloves. They want to get gloves that have some kind of extra liner. Here, you probably can't tell because it's black, but this has got an extra piece of leather right across here. A lot of work gloves are like that, and I know a lot of people use work gloves that use gloves on their wheelchair. My understanding is that most people, and be my suggestion, is that you want to buy some gloves that are tight-fitting to your hands. I like these with the no fingers still here because I can still, of course, use my fingers with the gloves. And these are pretty inexpensive. They're not wheelchair gloves. What I did was just went to the sporting goods section of Target or Walmart or one of those type of places and got it near where the weightlifting stuff was, and they were like $10 or $12 for a pair or something of that nature. And I've probably been using these gloves, these particular ones, for maybe a year or something like that. I have gone through a couple pairs since I've been in the wheelchair, but I think for 10 or 12 bucks, whatever it was, and they last as long as they do, that's a bargain. I do know that other people have found that climbing gloves, like rock climbing gloves, which are very similar. A lot of them are very similar, and they have open fingers. Some of them don't, but a lot of them have open fingers. They've got extra leather on here to protect your hands, and my understanding is that climbing gloves are really good to use with the wheelchair also, and chances are they're going to be a lot cheaper than if you went to a wheelchair specialty place. I also understand that some ladies who like to look fashionable, they can find actually nice looking gloves that they can wear with appropriate outfits at some of the online places. So I think gloves are a great idea. They're going to help your hands in the long run. They certainly have helped mine, and they certainly have made me feel a lot more comfortable when I'm going outside, when I'm rolling uphill or rolling downhill, just generally controlling the wheelchair as I'm moving around outside.